Thank me later, yeah, I know what I said. But later doesn't always come, so instead.
Alright. Back like we never left.
Oh yeah, we're recording.
We're recording right now.
Thank
What's
Me Later
up, everybody?
podcast.
This is the Thank Me Later podcast, man. It is the year 2021. Happy New Year. We're happy to be back, man. Once again, this is your boy Nutty.
And Slow Jam Philly.
Listen,
I hope y'all like our new setup.
hey, the new setup, we put a
It's
lot of
nice,
work
huh?
into it, a lot of money into it, but we're going to keep upgrading, man. It's going to keep getting better and better. So, but yeah,
I really like it though.
we're looking good up here, man.
Man, we look official.
But listen, man, it's officially 2021. 2020, to say the least, was a show
What a year.
of a year. Honestly, to me, moving forward, the year, it's not even going to count. Like, I'm not even going to, if somebody asks me what you did the last 10 years in 2030, I'm like, you mean last 9 years? Because it's not going to count for me. But,
Right.
but 2020 was crazy.
I mean, I love how people are saying. I mean, people were saying like, 2020 was a horrible year, but like it was a great year because it taught you how to, persevere. Stuff like
Yeah.
which is true, but you can't deny the fact that it just wasn't a good year.
Yeah,
Like, it
there's
just
no way.
wasn't a good year.
Everybody
From-
said 2020 was a good year. They lying at
from
their ass.
deaths
man.
to money situations, just to
COVID
to
still
COVID,
running
yeah,
crazy.
COVID still, COVID running
That's the whole
crazy.
reason.
Yeah, you couldn't do anything. Yeah, it was just wild. Like it was wild. I mean, I got COVID.
I had COVID. For if you go back to the last couple episodes, I think the last one we dropped was in August. I had just got over COVID.
Yeah, you talked about.
Yeah.
Talked about.
I said if I look different, it's because 30 pounds came off my body thanks to COVID. That was the only. Honestly, I ain't gonna say that was the only positive. There was that, and then a couple of really big positive things that happened in 2020 that we're thankful for and just happy about. And we just, to be honest, just making it out the year healthy.
It makes you though reflect on life.
Yeah, man.
Totally different. That's for sure. Like Danny said, make it out the year. Like you said, make it out the year healthy, alive. That's probably the biggest thing that I took away from it. Just being able to say, I mean, you made it. I mean, little things like you start. People take things for granted all the time, even if we don't try to.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So you start really thinking about all the little things you take for granted. Like me being here with my cousin right now is something that I cherish. But like before, it was like, oh, I'm just seeing Danny. I'm seeing my cousin. Like, all right, cool. It's
Just
like my
another
brother.
day,
We
yeah,
see each other all the time, anyways. Like, doesn't matter. But actually, like this moment right here is something that I cherish and I don't want to take for granted. Like little things like that is like, sheesh, like being with my friends. Like little things, being able to, even being able to go to work, like being able just to go see my mom, like little things like that.
Little things where you're putting your time,
granted.
like what you putting your time to, it's like you start noticing more that stuff matters.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you're putting your energy, where you're putting your time to. That's what 2020 taught me, is that every moment should have a purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like sleeping in till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, for what? Like, for what? I don't want to hear you're tired, because the moment you wake up, you're up. Like if you just get up, you're up. It's little stuff like that where I don't sleep in. Like, what am I sleeping in for?
Yeah.
I got some shit to do.
Especially if I got rest last night, there's no point to sleep.
I'm telling you, and I don't go to sleep early. Like, it's like there's so much you start realizing that you can get done.
Little things.
And not wasting all that time and bullshit. Like, there's just no time to waste and bullshit it off. But we all know 2020 was a shit show. And we're here.
Major events happen? Like, what major?
Trump is no longer president.
Well, that was in 2000. That was in
November.
2020. Oh, that was November?
Yeah,
was that long ago already?
Yeah, a couple months ago. They
Oh,
voted his ass
sheesh.
out.
I
He's
thought it
done.
just happened in January.
Yeah, man, it seems like it because the motherfucker won't accept
Yeah,
it.
I try not to even mention him anymore because he's no longer president.
He's
so
no
I
longer
try not to
relevant.
even, he's not relevant, so I try not to even.
But shout out to Twitter, because I no longer get my account banned for cursing him out on Twitter. So, you, Donald. And I'm gonna come back at you on Twitter because they don't mess with me no more. So shout out to Twitter, but he ain't even on Twitter. They kicked his ass off Twitter.
But that's honestly good though. That was a major event.
That was great.
That was a win. That was a win.
That was
for
a win.
society for sure.
Not for everybody though.
But it should. Like, even if they don't know it, that was a win.
Yeah, they.
You know,
Hey, listen.
Just things like that. Like even you being able, I just can never understand.
They went down the rabbit hole, man. Like,
but I also learned people are really sheep. Like
for sure,
people. But they made the sheep meaning like a whole nother level. Like the Capitol riot. Those thugs. Oh my goodness.
Sheesh, couldn't be me.
You want to?
Couldn't be me. I don't know.
It.
I don't know what those crackers was thinking.
Hey.
Because, I mean, and they want to, like Fox News. Like, I don't watch Fox News, but, like, they'll swear that this is equal to Black Lives Matter. And you know it's not.
And that's also something that I really like in 2021. I mean, of course, I'm going to just stop letting people slide on things. Like, just even little, like, if you're in my presence and you're talking some buffoonery
and you want some nonsense,
like,
you're out of here.
Stop letting you slide. If you're on social media and you post on your story and you're my friend on social media and it's buffoonery, I'm not even going to let you slide no more. Like, yes, I'm not going to argue because I'm not just going to argue with idiots. Like, I'm just not going to argue. Like,
but I'm going to let you know I saw it.
I'm going to let you know, and then that's it. Like, I'm not going to say a girl's name, but we had an exchange on Twitter. Or not Twitter, but on IG.
A former friend.
And she commented on, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and the riots and, you know, all of this stuff. And she commented like basically, oh, now you're quiet about the Black Lives Matter movement, but now you're just loud about the movement going on. I'm like, what is that? That's not even in my head. I'm like, that's not even a movement. They're totally different things.
Totally different.
And I put LOL, and she put ha ha ha, yeah, LOL, and I was like, and then she put a little Trump emoji like walking, and I said, yeah, walking right out the White House. And she said, dude, F off, and I said, take care. That's all I said. I said, God bless, take care. See, I didn't argue with her, but I just let her know like this is just idiotic. How can you think? And if you do think that way, cool. But just so that you guys are clear. How can you think that it's the same way when black people, the Black Lives Matter movement, are rioting or they're protesting because they're dying?
You're getting killed.
Because that's the whole point of it. They're protesting and they're out there doing these things because they're it's literally because they're dying.
Because we're dying.
Because we're dying by the hands of officers.
And you white people are out there protesting because you lost the election.
Trump lost. Trump didn't die. Trump didn't get assassinated.
He didn't get killed. He didn't
die.
He wasn't unarmed and got shot by a cop.
Right. Like, none of this happened. He literally
We aren't
lost.
the same.
And you guys think that is unfair. But that's where privilege and that's where privilege comes in.
That's what privilege looks like.
Like, that's literally where privilege comes at. And it's, like, wild to me that you don't even know how to accept losing. You're not told no.
You're not told
there's,
no.
There's always a privilege. Like, that is basically what we're talking about.
That's the fundamental difference. Y'all are throwing a fit because you lost an election, a legal election. You're upset that it's not equal to us protesting because we're getting murdered by police.
And they think that, check the numbers again. Okay, we ran the numbers back. You still lost.
Still lost.
Like, what do you want? And that's a lot of, like, privilege is such on, like, I'm not going to get into American Skin movie right now because Danny hasn't seen it yet, and I need
next episode, just wait on it.
Just to dissect it, but you'll see, like, it's very good. Like, you get to see, like,
I heard it's pretty intense.
It is. But at the beginning, though, it starts off a little slow. You're like, okay, what's going on? Like, how is he gonna do this? Like, what's going on? And then, bam! It's like it had me locked. And I was like, damn.
If you have not seen American Skin, go watch it. I'm gonna check it out tonight. Guarantee you, it's going to be a topic of discussion on episode 2021. Episode 21. I keep forgetting we're on episode 20. This is a big milestone for us. New setup.
We are on episode 20.
Episode 20. We're here. Episode 20 in the year 2021. After the shithole of a year 2020 was, we made it here, and I'm happy about it.
But you get to see, and in that I'll just say you get to see from like both perspectives of what people think and what I like.
Yeah.
But then it's like you get to see from the hands of a white officer killing a black man, you get to see like that view too and how we were feeling. And he said something. No, I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. No spoilers.
I'm gonna just wait because I just want to. Man, I swear,
spoilers,
I've been
man.
waiting to talk about it.
I bet you were.
To talk about it. What else happened in?
So we know 2020 was crazy of a year. Like what? I'm curious to know because I have my ways that I dealt with not only just how COVID was, the pressure of just constantly being in the house and how to keep my mental right, how dealt with losing family. Like, let's dive into like what things could you take away from going through all that in 2020 to not only like apply it, for yourself in that year, but moving forward, like do those things carry on with you and how you process with it, seeing how 2020 was.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't normal to go through things that are normal. Like death is normal, but going through it in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Like how moving forward do you think you approach things the same way? Was it adjustments? Like how just going through the year do you think
for me,
process move forward?
I'm a perspective guy. I'm always thinking. But I think God was telling me last year to slow down a little bit because I'm always doing something. Mm-hmm. Whether it's work, LE, or just work, or going to work out, or going somewhere to Fairfield, traveling. He was like, just slow down for a minute and just take a step back and really look at things and just see how you want to move, see what's important to you, how it's important to you, and just see how you. I don't think a lot of people don't really put things in perspective sometimes. Especially last year was a perfect example of putting things in perspective and really, like we talked about taking things for granted. But for me, it was more so slow down and not saying that I'm not gonna do nothing, but I remember there was a time probably 2 weeks last year where I probably didn't do nothing. I didn't work. I didn't do anything. But I needed it just for my mental.
Yeah.
I needed it just for my mental because I never do that. I never do that. So it was I just stayed in the house. And granted, for people we can't go anywhere already. But for me, it was more so I'm used to doing all this stuff, and even when we were in the house, I was still doing things. So it never really locked me down. So I really was I need to embrace this. Let me embrace the lockdown and really just be locked down for a minute. So just embrace what's going on around you, what's happening at the time, and how can I maneuver out of it at the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't and still have yet to embrace the lockdown.
Right.
It just does not work for me. But because I got COVID, I've had to adjust that way of thinking to not only protect myself but protect my family. But still, I sit in the fucking house and I'm like, my normal thing, my go-to thing to do is to hang out with my people.
Right.
And realizing I can't do that daily, it bugs. I've set this garage up to be a nice man cave, right? And I'll catch myself, if I get work done, knock out a workout, be sitting there, I play Call of Duty for an hour, and then realize I'm bored.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can be entertained so much,
yeah,
and still feel like the walls are closing in on me. You know what I mean? That's still something I'm still struggling to deal with, is to get over the fact that you can't move how you normally want to move yet, and it still bugs me. You know what I mean? I'll just get in the car and just drive.
Yeah.
Waste a whole tank of gas just to get out the house.
Yeah. That's everybody, copes different ways, but that's helping you with your mental. That's helping you stay sane. That's helping you.
I'm telling you, I would go crazy. I'm getting there.
If you try to, now would be a perfect time for whoever is plotting to do a club or some big event
Boy, listen,
thing. After this is over,
you can take
everything.
all
about to
my
be
money.
popping.
You can take all my money.
Everybody gonna be out. People gonna be.
I'm
I've
running
seen,
it up.
I've seen people that's like homebodies. They're like, yeah, when this is over, I'm going.
I'm running it
I'm
up.
going out because you never thought that you would actually have, be told that you cannot go out.
Yeah.
Like little things like that take for granted. Going
I'm
to the
telling
store.
Going to just the grocery store. I don't got nothing to buy. I'm going to the grocery
to the
store
store.
because it's open.
Yeah.
Like
Just to
that's
be
the
out,
kind of crazy
see
shit that you're
people,
thinking about. Like
breathe air.
the
see
grocery
people.
store is an essential business. I need to get out the house. I'm not buying shit. I'm just going to see somebody, be around people 6 feet away with my mask on, just to walk through the aisles and be like, I'm out in these streets. But like that's the type of shit that people are taking for granted. Like I'm telling you, when stuff opens back up, if you want to do something, invite me because I'm gonna pull up.
Do it.
I'm coming. There's no doubt. I will be there. I will be on time, and I will stay till motherfucker close. I promise you. But I'm telling you, like, if you are one of those people who are like me, where you're feeling like the walls are closing in at times and stuff, just realize you can relax. This ain't gonna last forever. But just know, take those opportunities when they do come, once you can.
But that allows people to put things in perspective. Like
For real, when you realize you just
put
can't
things
do
in
nothing.
perspective. And now everybody's going. Well, people who, a lot of people are gonna move differently. Let's just say that a lot of people are gonna move differently in a positive way. I think that's probably what some people are talking about. Like something positive happened for them in 2020. Like I think that they're gonna, like we talked about, not taking things for granted. Do things when somebody invites you somewhere. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna actually do those things. I'm gonna, find who I am. A lot of people still are finding themselves, and this might have been a time where they found who they were in 2020.
One thing I can suggest to people, and I've talked to our homegirl, Jasmine, right? Mm-hmm. So little backstory. I don't want to talk too much about my own personal shit because I just don't want y'all to know my business. But I hadn't spoken to my pops in about 15 years, right?
See, perspective.
This is what 2020 was able to do for me and put things into perspective for me, right? Hadn't seen my pops in about 15 years. We've had a rough go at it. And certain shit happens where it sort of just wakes you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've talked on this podcast many times before. Well, Phil knows I'm not the most religious person in the world, but there's certain things that you just can't ignore, right? On the last episode, we've of course mentioned that, God rest his soul, Uncle Phil is looking down on us now. But with me not talking to my dad, right? And having a relationship I have with my Uncle Phil, I started sitting there. I randomly started thinking, what the hell's my dad doing? Not taking nothing up, just wonder how he's doing. And then literally got a phone call from one of my brothers telling me that he was going to Florida to see Pops within a couple of days of this happening. So I'm like, okay, that's strike two. And I'm like, all right, you going out there to see him, cool. Strike three was playing back in my head, and just the shit just happened. I'm like, okay, I hear you. This is one of the things where I hear you talking to me, okay? Where every time I would see my Uncle Phil, from the time my parents divorced to the last conversation we had, first thing he would say to me, before he said hello to me, "You spoke to your dad?"
That's so funny that you
And I would be like, no. And then that would be the end of the conversation. And he would go on being Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I started hearing that voice.
Yeah.
Maybe within a day or two of my brother telling me he was going. Have you spoken to your dad? And I'm like, no, I ain't spoke to the nigga. Like, that's strike three. So I'm like, I hear you.
Yeah.
Bought a plane ticket, went out there, surprised my pops, and surprisingly, it felt like a weight just came off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not like everything was all forgiven and forgotten, because we got to speak and hashed out our issues and shit. But when Phil's talking about perspective of how shitty 2020 was, but it gave so much clarity to so many things that were cloudy, where I now have a relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Yeah.
Like, Phil never thought that day would come. And I didn't
love
either.
it, though. I mean,
I didn't think that
was
day was going
always
to come.
hopeful.
Like, that's like Phil's hopeful about a lot of
always-
things with me. But that's one thing that I was just like, hell bent on just no. Like, no. But again, the perspective of realizing that what two adults went through had to do with me personally.
Right.
But just how I personally felt about somebody else's situation. That was my dad. You know what I'm saying? So,
That boy growing up.
you know what I mean? It
Look at
happened. It took me a
you,
while.
In his 30s and he's
Took me
still
a while.
growing.
36,
See?
and this is how, I'm out
Man,
here.
I'm so proud.
But
dog.
that's
Y'all got-
2020.
Man, I'm so proud.
If you have not gone through this process yet within the new year, man, take some time to think about the perspective you can have on certain things. Like if you haven't spoken to a family member, or if you got beef with somebody,
That's what,
think about if it's that serious.
Yeah.
Because COVID's taking people out left and right. And you don't want to be one of them people to be like, what if? Because God forbid, had something happen to my pops,
Right.
and knowing how I feel now about where our relationship is,
Yeah.
it would haunt me to the day I die. You know what I mean? And it was a great thing to knock down that wall and not be so tough about it and all that shit, and just say, you know what?
Proud, y'all.
You
Y'all
gotta,
see me
you
smiling.
had to, it was something that had to happen. So we've been talking about how 2020 was, but I feel like we aren't the only ones who could understand the perspective that it and the effect it's had on us in a positive way. And here we are in the new year. Like we said, we got a new setup. We got new plans for not only the podcast, but for the lifestyle, everything, business and brand, and just so much we want to accomplish. It's a crazy new energy. It's a crazy new energy. Like if there's a business you want to launch, go do it. If there's
Shoot your shot. Too,
shoot your shots, man.
Shoot your
Hey,
shots.
listen, that might be another
Hey,
topic.
tell him
for
you
another
like
day.
him. Tell him you like him. You
Hey,
know?
listen,
Life is too short.
them DMs they get read.
Hey, life is
Listen,
too short.
DMs do get read. If you don't think those DMs get read, listen, keep shooting your shot until you see otherwise. But listen,
You feel me?
the perspective, again, that's what we want you to leave this episode with, is the perspective of seeing things through and not, holding on to the negative.
Take
Because
chances.
again, the next day is gonna come, but you don't know when those days are gonna stop coming, especially with what's going on today, man. So that's all I got. That's all I wanted to say for episode 20, man, was to just recap 2020 a little bit, talk about 2021. And crackers running crazy. The Capitol. We got a new president.
You preaching, brother. Shoot.
You know what I'm saying?
Listening, you just preaching, then he just
Listen, man, this is episode 20 of the Thank Me Later podcast, y'all. We are going to be back every week with the new episode dropping every Thursday. We got some guests coming through. We
Yes,
going to be
sir.
working to
Yeah,
get
we
some
gonna be-
sponsors on
we
this
having some
thing.
people on this thing.
I'm going to be, this is water, but don't think that's going to be here all the time, because next episode is going to have a little something in it.
This my mama drink. Keep me focused on the right.
I did start drinking those. They're really good,
I'm
actually.
telling you, I don't drink Gatorade no more.
They're really, really good, to be honest with you. But yeah, man, you got anything else you want to drop on this one?
Shoot. Yeah, no. We in 2021. Nothing besides like you said, the raid. Michael B. Jordan probably slayed Lori Harvey's DMs.
That's crazy.
He probably got on those.
Oh yeah.
Kim K and Kanye broke up supposedly, but I don't know. I haven't heard nothing recently.
No, and yeah, the whole him with Jeffree Star thing turned out to be fake.
I mean, I'm sure
That was a crazy thought.
Yeah, that was crazy. But I mean, I'm not. I mean, yeah. I mean, Kim K and Kanye broke up. I mean, I'm not surprised.
I didn't give a about them. Anyway,
Yeah,
to be honest with
I
you.
don't pay them no mind really, anyways. But I mean, when I heard it, I wasn't surprised. But I don't. I mean, who
Because
knows?
Kanye's crazy.
He's just different, you know. He's
They would say
different,
different. He's nuts.
you know. Kanye probably goes through some things. Kim K probably goes through some things. He's just a little different. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rag on him too much, but yeah, man. Listen, structure wise, episode 2020, the episode 21 of 2021, we are going to be back with our topics. We're gonna be taking topics from our social media.
I want some
friends.
Guests. We're gonna have some guests this year. We have a lot of guests.
We're gonna have a lot of guests. I'm gonna have people pull up, have a seat
for
right
sure.
here with us. We're gonna
be
vibe.
discussing some things.
Listen, man. Every Thursday we will be back for the Thank You Later podcast, man. Once again, this is episode 20. Welcome to 2021. This is your boy Nutty,
That new energy. This is Slow Jam Philly,
and we out.
and we at it.
Thank me later, yeah, I know what I said. But later doesn't always come, so instead.